How to practice English. Leo often dreamed of speaking English fluently, imagining lively conversations and global connections. Yet, a constant knot of frustration tightened in his stomach. Every attempt to express himself verbally felt like navigating a dense fog. He yearned for a clear, English study plane for talking, something that could guide him beyond his current silent struggles and into confident articulation. His attempts often ended in silence, his mind a jumble of unformed thoughts. He felt utterly stuck, unable to bridge the gap between knowing grammar rules and actually forming coherent sentences. The sheer weight of his shyness, combined with an intense fear of making any perceptible mistake, paralyzed his tongue every single time he tried speaking English. The thought of speaking publicly, or even just initiating a simple conversation, triggered intense anxiety. He imagined people judging his accent or laughing at his grammatical errors. This deep-seated apprehension had effectively built an insurmountable wall around his English aspirations, preventing any significant progress and hindering his confidence development severely. He diligently tried traditional learning methods, spending countless hours poring over dense grammar books and memorizing endless vocabulary lists. While these efforts occasionally helped with his reading comprehension and written exercises, they offered little assistance when it came to spontaneous verbal communication. His fluency remained stubbornly stagnant despite all his dedicated hard work. Leo soon realized that merely accumulating knowledge wasn't enough. He needed a dynamic, actionable English study plane for talking. It wasn't about passively learning words, but actively using them. He required a strategy specifically designed to transition his theoretical understanding into practical, confident spoken English. This realization marked a pivotal shift in his approach. The turning point arrived unexpectedly during a late-night internet search. He stumbled upon an old forum post discussing innovative techniques for rapid fluency development. The comments revealed insights into practical application rather than just rote memorization. It was a revelation, sparking a flicker of hope that perhaps he could truly overcome his speaking hurdles after all this time. One particular phrase resonated profoundly with him: how to take first step for talking. It wasn't about achieving perfection immediately, but simply initiating the process. This idea liberated him from the crippling pressure of flawlessness. He realized that even the smallest, most imperfect vocalizations constituted significant progress on his daunting language journey. The concept was simple yet revolutionary: just start speaking. It didn't matter if his sentences were clumsy or incomplete. The act of vocalization itself was the victory. This philosophy allowed him to shed the burden of expecting instant eloquence, transforming his daunting challenge into a series of achievable, manageable small steps forward, one after another. He decided his very first step would be talking to himself in the quiet privacy of his bedroom mirror. The reflection stared back, a silent, non-judgmental listener. This initial exercise felt awkward and slightly absurd, yet it provided a safe space to experiment with sounds and words without the intimidating fear of external scrutiny or immediate correction. He began with mundane descriptions: this is my blue shirt. I like coffee. The weather is sunny today. Simple sentences, yet each one a small victory. He focused on articulating clearly, even if his pronunciation wasn't perfect. This daily ritual, no matter how brief, began to chip away at his entrenched speaking inhibitions, slowly but surely. Soon after, he discovered the power of the "talk in English just one page per day" method. It sounded deceptively simple. The idea was to choose any topic and articulate thoughts about it for the equivalent length of a single page of text, focusing purely on spontaneous verbal output without writing it down first. This wasn't about reading a page or writing one, it was about the volume of spoken words. He imagined himself filling a physical page with his voice. This constraint encouraged continuous speech, forcing him to keep talking even when he felt his ideas were running dry, pushing him past initial awkward pauses effectively. He picked an arbitrary object, like his old, chipped coffee mug. For the next 10 minutes, he described it, its color, its texture, where it came from, his memories associated with it. He found himself describing its handle, the subtle scent of old coffee lingering within. It was surprisingly challenging but profoundly effective. Initially, his page felt incredibly sparse, filled with long silences and repeated phrases. It felt awkward, and his thoughts often stumbled over themselves. However, he persisted, understanding that consistency trumped immediate perfection. Every day, his page grew slightly richer, his vocabulary more varied, and his thought flow became demonstrably smoother. He also began recording these daily monologues. Listening back, though sometimes cringe-worthy, became an invaluable diagnostic tool. He identified recurring grammatical errors, awkward pauses, and areas where his pronunciation needed significant work. This self-assessment provided clear targets for improvement, making his practice remarkably more focused and effective each time. Leo also developed a keen interest in how other people talk in English. He started observing native speakers, not just in movies or TV shows, but in real-life interactions. He paid close attention to their natural intonation, their conversational fillers, and the effortless way they connected their thoughts. This observation became a key learning tool. He noticed that native speakers didn't always use perfectly structured sentences, sometimes they used contractions, slang, or incomplete thoughts, yet still communicated effectively. This observation eased his pressure for absolute grammatical precision, shifting his focus towards clear, natural, and comprehensible communication rather than academic correctness constantly. He began to mimic common phrases and intonation patterns he heard. He wasn't just repeating words, he was trying to capture the feel of the language. This helped him sound less like a textbook and more like a real person, making his spoken English significantly more natural and genuinely engaging. The importance of why reading is important gained an entirely new dimension for Leo. He realized reading wasn't just for expanding vocabulary, it was crucial for internalizing natural English sentence structures and idiomatic expressions. It provided context and demonstrated how words were used in various authentic scenarios. He started with simple English news articles online, then moved to short stories and blog posts. He made it a point to read aloud whenever possible, focusing on rhythm and flow. This practice helped him connect words smoothly, improving his speaking cadence and allowing him to sound more fluid and less robotic while speaking. Reading consistently broadened his active vocabulary and significantly enhanced his comprehension skills simultaneously. He found new words and phrases popping up naturally in his spoken English, almost without conscious effort. This synergy between reading and speaking proved incredibly powerful, accelerating his overall language acquisition journey significantly. His daily, how to practice English, routine gradually solidified, becoming an indispensable part of his day. Mornings were dedicated to reading aloud, absorbing new structures. Afternoons were reserved for his one-page speaking exercise, pushing his verbal fluency boundaries further and further. This structured approach brought tremendous consistency to his learning. Evenings were for immersive listening, English podcasts, YouTube vlogs, or short documentaries. He tried to understand the nuances of different accents and conversational speeds. This consistent exposure built his auditory comprehension skills, which in turn made him a better, more responsive speaker in actual conversations with others. He understood that how to learn English was not a finite course but an active, continuous journey of discovery. It demanded consistent engagement, not just sporadic bursts of enthusiasm. Every day offered a new opportunity to learn something, practice a skill, and push his own linguistic comfort zone slightly. This mindset shift was crucial. Instead of seeing learning as a burdensome task, he viewed it as an exciting exploration. He embraced the small, daily efforts, knowing that each one contributed significantly to his long-term goal of effortless fluency, making the entire process enjoyable and sustainable over time. Emboldened by his internal progress, Leo began to seek out opportunities for how to talk to anyone in English. The mirror and self-recordings were great, but real human interaction was the next, vital step in his journey. He knew he had to push himself beyond his comfort zone. He bravely signed up for online language exchange platforms, connecting with native speakers from around the world. His first few video calls were nerve-wracking, filled with awkward silences and fumbled sentences. Yet, the kindness and patience of his new partners were incredibly encouraging, fostering a supportive learning environment. He then joined a local English-speaking club, a step that initially terrified him beyond measure. The thought of conversing face-to-face with strangers in English sent shivers down his spine. But his internal, study plane, pushed him forward, reminding him of his commitment to practical application. His very first conversation with a native speaker in person was a stuttering, halting mess. He fumbled for words, his mind racing, his tongue feeling like lead. Despite the initial embarrassment, a thrill coursed through him. He had done it. He had taken that intimidating first step, finally speaking directly. Each subsequent interaction felt incrementally easier, slightly more natural. He noticed his responses becoming quicker, his vocabulary more accessible. The fear began to recede, replaced by a growing sense of accomplishment and genuine enjoyment in the process. He was actively building fluency with every single interaction. He learned to wholeheartedly embrace mistakes as an integral part of the way of learning English. He understood that errors were not failures but invaluable feedback mechanisms, highlighting areas that required further attention and practice. This positive reframing transformed his entire learning experience effectively. Instead of dwelling on errors, he'd analyze them, learn from them, and then quickly move on. This resilience prevented discouragement and maintained his momentum. He realized that a fear of imperfection was a far greater impediment than any actual linguistic misstep, fostering continuous progress. He started asking more open-ended questions during conversations, not just to gather information but also to prompt others to speak more. This strategy gave him valuable listening practice and provided him with new phrases and sentence structures he could then incorporate into his own responses spontaneously. This active listening also helped him understand how other people talk in English more deeply in real-time contexts. He absorbed nuances of expression, cultural references, and common conversational patterns that no textbook could adequately teach him. It was immersion in its purest, most effective form. How to improve your English became less of an abstract goal and more of a systematic, achievable process. He regularly reviewed his progress, celebrating small victories like successfully explaining a complex idea or holding an extended debate. These mini achievements fueled his motivation significantly. What seemed like a daunting, challenging conversation a few months ago now felt like a simple warm-up exercise. His progress was undeniable, a testament to his consistent effort and strategic approach. Each success built upon the last, creating a powerful upward spiral of continuous improvement. His confidence in speaking English grew exponentially, surprising even himself with its rapid development. He found himself effortlessly engaging in diverse discussions, from casual banter to more serious debates, articulating his thoughts with increasing clarity and an impressive command of the language. The paralyzing fear that once held him captive completely vanished. It was replaced by an exhilarating sense of freedom and genuine excitement for every new conversational opportunity. He no longer dreaded speaking, he actively sought it out, eager to connect with others and share his ideas freely. He could now navigate various social situations with remarkable ease and profound clarity, whether it was ordering food in a foreign country or making new friends at an international gathering. The world felt significantly smaller and much more accessible because of his newfound linguistic capabilities. His long-held dream of connecting globally was no longer a distant, unattainable fantasy but a vibrant, tangible reality. He interacted with people from different cultures, exchanging ideas and building meaningful relationships, all thanks to his perseverance and the effective methods he meticulously employed. Leo realized the immense power of consistent, targeted practice and, crucially, an unwavering belief in one's own capabilities. His journey wasn't just about learning a language, it was about overcoming self-doubt and unlocking his true potential for effective communication. He became a living example. His personal transformation became a compelling testament to the effectiveness of his adopted learning methods. He had meticulously crafted his English study plan for talking, turning abstract theories into practical, daily actions, leading him step by confident step towards true fluency in English. Inspired by his own success, Leo began sharing his story with others who struggled with English speaking, just like he once did. He became an informal mentor, offering guidance and encouragement, always emphasizing the importance of taking that critical first, daunting but brave step. Don't wait for perfection, he'd advise earnestly, just start talking. Embrace the messy middle, because that's where genuine learning and growth truly happen. Every single word uttered is a small victory on your path towards fluency, no matter how insignificant it might seem initially. He constantly reinforced the "talk in English just 1 page per day" method, stressing its effectiveness in building consistent verbal output. He explained how this structured, daily practice created a powerful habit of speaking, transforming passive knowledge into active, usable language, consistently and effectively. And immerse yourself in reading constantly, he'd emphatically add, because why reading is important extends far beyond just vocabulary building. It provides context, natural phrasing, and an intuitive understanding of the language's flow, greatly enhancing your overall linguistic comprehension. He also encouraged observing how other people talk in English, urging learners to mimic intonation and natural expressions. Pay attention to the music of the language, he'd say, and try to make your own voice sing along. This will make your speech sound more authentic and engaging for others. Remember, how to take first step for talking is the hardest, but most crucial part, he would often reiterate. Once you conquer that initial hesitation, the rest becomes a natural progression. Every single word spoken, even a simple "hello," is a testament to your unwavering courage. Leo emphasized that how to learn English was about embracing a dynamic, active process rather than passively absorbing information. It involved consistent interaction, deliberate practice, and a willingness to step outside one's comfort zone repeatedly, fostering genuine and sustainable linguistic development over time. And always remember, how to improve your English is a marathon, not a sprint, he'd wisely conclude. Celebrate every small victory, learn from every mistake, and never stop pushing your boundaries. Consistency and perseverance are your most powerful allies on this rewarding journey. His advice resonated deeply with countless aspiring English speakers who felt overwhelmed and discouraged. Leo provided not just techniques, but also hope, demonstrating through his own tangible experience that fluency was indeed an achievable goal for dedicated, persistent learners, regardless of their starting point. He continually stressed that the way of learning English was personal, but fundamentally built upon consistent vocalization. Speak, 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 he'd urge, even if it's just to your reflection. The more you produce, the more natural it becomes, fostering true linguistic fluidity in no time. Leo's English journey truly transformed his entire life. It opened up incredible professional opportunities, allowing him to collaborate on international projects and travel with newfound confidence. He was no longer limited by language barriers, embracing a world of limitless possibilities now. Beyond professional gains, his improved English significantly enriched his personal life. He forged deep connections with people from diverse backgrounds, understanding different perspectives and broadening his own worldview exponentially. Language became a bridge, connecting him to humanity profoundly. From a shy, frustrated beginner struggling with basic sentences, Leo had blossomed into an eloquent, confident English speaker. His story became a shining example, proving that with the right English study plan for talking and unwavering dedication, anyone can truly master the art of conversation.